Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Friendship Pearson, and welcome again to Friendship Blue. It is February 21st of 2025. It is Friday. Happy Friday. 3:33 in the PM. Yeah, 3:33. So let's say it together. Praise our Heavenly Father, from whom all blessings flow.
February 28th, 1849. The California gold rush reached its peak as hundreds of thousands of prospectors flocked to the state in search of fortune. This mass migration had a lasting impact on California's development and the growth of the United States. On February 28th, 1849, the California gold rush reached its peak as hundreds of thousands of prospectors flocked to the state in search of fortune. This mass...
There's gold up in there. Remember that term back in the day? When I was a shorty, I used to say it a lot. There's gold up in there. Oh boy, if you can find you some, hey, let me know. I'm on my way. Why are you bringing this up, Pearson? Well, people, our beloved president and his sidekick, I guess we can call him Robin to Batman, Elon Musk, they're going to Fort Knox to do an audit, I guess, to see if there's gold in Fort Knox. And I have a suspicion, because my mind had to go back to books that I had been reading off and on for 40 years about gold. You see, people back in the day, we were on the gold standard, but Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. And there was a president back in the day, which I'll bring up, which fooled the American public during a time of an economic collapse. And he said, turn in your gold. And then once they turned it in, the actual gold itself went up in value. So there have been some shenanigans historically in America. And I'm wondering just what is the Roosevelt up to now. You see, what was it? The first week they started the Stargate program with all these tech investors coming to Washington, D.C. for the future. And then we've got Elon Musk the last few weeks at the Treasury, checking out the money. That is waste, fraud, and abuse. But he's checking out the money. I want you to understand, in a week ago, Trump wants to eliminate the penny. And now we're talking about gold. We're just going from one currency or one type of relationship to money to the other. Why now? People, we got to pay attention. Why now? Do they really want to find out if the gold is there? Or is there something nefarious? And are they qualified to really know who they're taking with them? Don't you have to weigh it? Do they have to melt it down to verify if it's real good gold? And you know they got more than just one place that they hold gold in Fort Knox. They have other places. Could another place just not send gold to them temporarily and the audit is fine? And then once Batman and Robin leave, they ship the gold back to the place where they borrowed it from? I mean, how do we do that? Because to do a real audit, you need to do an audit on all the places that hold the gold, the people's gold, wouldn't you think? So why now? It's been bugging me the last few days, and I want to bring it to your attention. I am not a gold expert. I study economics as a hobby, of which one is gold. Gold has been going on. I remember when I first started watching gold in relation to the Middle East crisis in the 70s, and we still have a Middle East crisis. And back in the day, gold was going up every day in relation to the crisis in the Middle East. It's still going up. And all I'm saying is that, why now? And I've been racking my brain. Why now? I'm really thinking that they want to find out exactly the value of the gold in relation to print money. Because you see, back in the day with Roosevelt, I think you had to have like 40% gold to every X amount of dollars you print. Somebody put it in the comment section. It was something like that. I had to really start thinking. See, back in the day, you know, money had to be printed. Today, money's got to be printed. But money today being printed versus yesteryear is different, because this inflation is it's a trip. But I digress. Let's go into this thing. Let's see if we can learn something together, okay? Get the wheels turning, okay? Check it out.
I think we're going to take in tremendous tariff money. Number one, and number two, you take a look at Doge and you see what's happening. We're saving millions of dollars.
On Doge, do you know what they're looking at specifically at the Department of Defense right now?
They're looking at everything.
And are they going to cut more
They're
national
looking at, we're going to go into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there.
Are they going to
You know
cut
that?
more?
We're going to go into Fort Knox. You know about that? How was that bad, Mom?
Are they going to eliminate more national security positions, civilians there?
We'll see what happens. But one of the things we do want to look at, we hope everything's fine with Fort Knox, but we're going to go to Fort Knox, the naval Fort Knox, to make sure the gold is there.
If
If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset. I think we're going to take in tremendous tariff money. Number one, and number two, you take a look at Doge and you see what's happening. We're saving millions of dollars.
So he's constantly mentioning the gold, hammering on it. There's got to be something more than what they're telling us. I think it's more than audit. Once they get whatever number they get, then they can gauge, I believe, their next move. That's what I believe is going on. Whether it's not there or how much is there, then they can make a decision. Roosevelt, back in the day, the president, what did he do? He confiscated the gold. I'm going to show you all this in a little bit. Just hold tight.
One thing potentially that could happen, and people are questioning it, is maybe remarking gold. Elon Musk, who's leading Doge, was talking about maybe going to Fort Knox to make sure those gold reserves are there. That comes under your purview. Do you have any plans to visit Kentucky?
I don't have any plans. I can tell you that we do an audit every year. I can tell the American people on camera right now that there was a report September 30th, 2024. All the gold is there. Any U.S. senator who wants to come and visit it can arrange a visit through our office.
Gold was your biggest holding when you were a hedge fund manager before you divested to become the Treasury Secretary. So you know the value of where gold is right now versus where it's marked on its balance sheet, just north of $40 an ounce. It's close to $3,000. Is it under consideration for this administration to revalue gold?
I think that somehow when we were talking about the sovereign wealth fund and I said monetize the balance sheet,
To become the Treasury Secretary. So you know the value of where gold is right now.
is there any U.S. senator who wants?
So this is Scott Bissett, U.S. Treasury Secretary. Used to be part of the gold. He says, "Hey, we just had a audit back in November. So let's see what happened. Let's see what happened." Now check this out. Nixon shook. The Nixon shock was the effect of a series of economic measures, including wage and price freezes, surcharges on imports, and the unilateral cancellation of the direct international convertibility of the United States dollar to gold, taken by United States President Richard Nixon on August 15, 1971. So Tricky Dick Nixon took us off the gold standard back in the day. And many argue that has led to our downfall at that point, because we've been just printing money out of thin air, digits on a computer, Federal Reserve. Whereas before, it had to be backed by gold. So the president got rid of that back in the day. Let me do something right quick, get off the beaten path. What number president was Nixon?
According to Wikipedia,
So he was 37.
Nixon was the 37th president of the United States, serving from 1969 until his resignation in 1974.
So he was 37, Trump is 47. FDR was what number president?
According to Wikipedia,
38.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt, also known as FDR, was the 32nd president of the United States, serving from 1933 until his death in 1945.
Okay, so here, Fort Knox, Kentucky. This is where they're going. This is where I believe they're going. Fort Knox, Kentucky was established in 1918 as Camp Knox, a recruiting training camp for World War I. On November 11th, 1918, the United States celebrated the end of World War I, which slowed construction at the camp. On November 11th, 1918, an armistice between Germany and Allies were signed, which suspended hostility and effectively ended World War I. But this gold thing started November 11th, 1918. Fort Knox. This is where they're going, people. Elon Musk and Your Highness, I guess tongue-in-cheek, President Trump, they're going there. I'm thinking Monday, unless they're going today, but we got some numbers. We're going to work with this. Now here it is, 11/11 of 2025. That will be the anniversary date of what? Of Fort Knox being open. Versus what? Our country was established July 4th. And I brought that up to 2025 as well. It comes out to 47. What are the odds Trump is the 47th president? This is what I'm saying, people. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood. These are spirits. This is AI. They have the technology and they are so intelligent in this spiritual realm that they think future past. They can actually create events, situations, make buildings, stamp a date on it, and then do something in the future. And when you look at it in the present, you say, wow, how does it match up to Donald Trump? Well, it does. Because Satan is running this world, people. I know for some people, they might say it's hard to wrap around. This is what I do. It's hard for you to wrap your mind around, but I'm telling you, look at the dates. Fort Knox, 11/11. That was the actual day it opened up. Versus the day that America came into existence. The difference is 47, and Trump's the 47th president, and he's going there soon. Now check this out. 11/11 again of 2024, subtracted what? From Trump's next birthday, 6/14/2025, Trump's next birthday, the difference is 74 again. America was born July 4th, 1776. Is this coincidence? But look at this. Barack Obama was born August 4th. August 4th. Now why am I doing that? Look how this works out. When you take the 11/11 of Fort Knox and bring it to 2024 versus Trump's next birthday, 6/14/2025, not only is it 74, it's the 216th day of the year. The 216th day of the year, people, is what? Because it's 216 days. The 216th day of the year is August 4th. Is Barack Obama, who many people believe is the Antichrist, is he the mastermind behind all this? Look at this. 11/11, 2024, another date for the Fort Knox anniversary. Versus what? 2/24, which would be Monday. Will that be the day that they go to Fort Knox? Elon and the president? If it is, the difference will be 3/16. And what is 3/16? You know what it is. That's a sacrifice. For God, John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, hallelujah, that whomsoever believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. A sacrifice. Is America going through it? Will America go through a financial hardship? Is there a sacrifice coming? See, they speak with the numbers. This is how they speak. Putting these numbers together, this is what's coming out. Then look at this here. Fort Knox gold audit. That's what they're going to do. Fort Knox gold audit. President Donald Trump, 45-47. Comes out to 222. And you know what 222 is. That's the Antichrist all day. I mean, look at these numbers always coming up. They just keep speaking. Look at that. The beast of Revelation, Antichrist system is 222. Barack Obama 222. That's what it means. So, Fort Knox gold audit, President Donald J. Trump, 45th president, 47th president, come out to 222. Something's about to jump off. I'm telling you. The Bible says, Revelation 13, you won't be able to buy or sell without this mark. That's finance. Gold is a part of finance. Are they going to go back on the gold standard? Is the gold not there? Is not enough gold there? If something disturbing is happens when they go to check on this gold, I mean, will there be a run on the banks? Will Trump freeze how much and say only how much gold you can have? You got to turn your gold in like Roosevelt did. I'm going to show you. If you don't know, it happened before. Elon Musk's birthday, 6/28. Look at that, June 28th. Take June 28th, 2025, Elon's next birthday. Subtract it from today, 2/21/2025. The difference is 4 months and 7 days. He's going to Fort Knox with Trump. Who would have thought all this was going to be going on in the future? Look at that. Then look. Remember I did the video last week on the penny? Remember? He's going to take the Lincoln penny out of circulation. Look, the August 6, 1909 is when it came into fruition. The Lincoln penny, August 6. If you take August 6, 1918, and subtract it from 11/11/1918, right? Both 1918. The reason why I did it, I matched the dates because this is when the penny came into existence. 8/6/1918. And then I just took 11/11/1918 to match it in relation to what? Fort Knox being open. What's the difference? 97 days. What's the 97th day of the year? April 7th. That's 47. Trump is the 47th president. Come on, man. How's all this match up? Here, look at this. Abraham Lincoln penny came out to what? 3/16. There's your sacrifice again. Who's going to be sacrificed? Is it these 50 states? These 50s keep coming up? What did Elon Musk say the other day when he was interviewed? Him and Trump was on Fox News 3 days ago. He said, "Oh man, look at the president. He renegotiated the cost of Air Force One by 50%. Every time I turn around, he's using the number 50. 3/16 is sacrifice. Abraham Lincoln penny. Are they speaking? Because you know Lincoln went through a sacrifice, did he not? Right? Didn't he get hit in the head? Well, didn't Trump get hit in the head? They got that in common, don't they? That's what I thought. Now listen to this here. I'll put this in the description. This is a beautiful video to listen to. I got a little bit rusty as I watched about 3 or 4 videos on what happened back in the day with President Roosevelt during the Depression. I realized just how much I wasn't on my game from back in the day. So I plan on doing some more reading this weekend. Look at this, gold confiscation. I have books on this, people. Listen to this. I can only do a minute of somebody's video, but check it out. It's a valuable video.
I've often heard people try to make the argument that this wasn't really a gold confiscation. If the government has a policy of turn in this or else, that's a confiscation in my eyes. But I digress. Why did the United States government confiscate gold? It comes back to the gold standard. President Roosevelt wanted to print more fiat currency, but couldn't because the United States gold reserves weren't large enough. Every fiat dollar printed had to be backed by 40 cents of gold. Gold at this time was valued at $20.67 per ounce. In order to print more money, our gold reserves would need to grow. So the confiscation occurred. But that wasn't all. After the deadline to turn in your gold for paper currency, the value of gold was increased from $20.67 per ounce to $35 per ounce by the Gold Reserve Act of 1934. United States citizens were completely screwed over. They lost 41% value overnight. The U.S. government could have raised the gold value before demanding citizens turn it over, but they didn't. It was sneaky, it was shady, it was criminal, but it was all done under the guise of helping the country.
So yeah, look, it's deep, people. It could happen again. I really think they're not just going there to do an audit. They need to find out what they can do for the future in relation to our economic status. That's what I believe this is about. Don't believe what they're telling you, because history does repeat itself. It repeats itself. You just listen to a quick history lesson. Back in the day, FDR, What did he do? Let me show you. Under executive order of the president, April 5th, like 45, right? 45, hint, hint. All persons are required to deliver or on or before May 1st, 1933, all gold coins, gold bullion, and gold certificates now owned by them to a Federal Reserve Bank, branch or agency, or to any member bank of the Federal Reserve. If they didn't, you could be like charged $1,000 or something else. It was crazy. And so then they gave people X amount of money for it, and then they turned around and the value of the gold went up. So the people got cheated. It's deep. You got to check this history out, people. You know, it was a way to confiscate gold. But, you know, we're in the middle of a depression and all that. Was this their way of saving America? Look, people, he had like a bank holiday. I think he closed the banks for 3 or 4 days. Somebody's going to put in the chat, they'll tell you what they did. Scandalous. In 1933, President D. Roosevelt took several actions related to gold, including Executive Order 6102 and the suspension of the gold standard. These actions were part of a large effort to stabilize the banking system during the Great Depression. See, these actions were part of a larger effort to stabilize the banking system during the Great Depression. Are we in or close to a depression? That's what I'm saying. See, they're not going to tell you the truth. I've been telling y'all, the numbers are not true. I've been watching Biden for 4 years. All he could say was, oh, unemployment is down. Those numbers were not right. They were not true. You see all these businesses, if you travel or just drive around in your different neighborhoods, all these places that have closed. We've been in a recession for probably 4 years now. And now they're doing this thing. Batman and Robin are going to go out to Fort Knox. Let me see if they got any gold. Let me straighten this out. I don't think that's what it's about. They need to find out how much is there so they can make some decisions for the future. And I wouldn't be surprised if they throw a little thing, well, it's not there, and this is going to hurt our economy, and now you got to turn your gold in. In other words, confiscate it. I'm going to put it to you like this. The government been screwed over minorities for decades. I don't understand why people making $25,000 and $30,000 got to pay taxes. Then the middle class got to pay taxes, but they don't have the loopholes that the big people. Now he's firing who? He's firing all these IRS agents. And all the research I've done this week, historically, when you don't have enough IRS agents, it's easy for them to do an audit on the poor people than it is a sophisticated audit on the wealthy. So now you're not pulling enough money into America, and the big cats get away with everything. People, look. Forbade the holding of gold bullion, gold certificates, and gold coins, more than $100, required citizens to turn in their excess of gold to the Federal Reserve by May 1st, set the exchange rate of $20. Look at this. He set the exchange rate of $20.67 per troy ounce. And then the value went up, and people got, you know what, they got upset because later on, the value of the gold that they turned in went up. Do you understand this conniving, cheating? You know what? Did what they did. Let's listen to it again. Listen to it again. Listen to this guys again, and we'll close it out.
Try to make the argument that this wasn't really a gold confiscation. If the government has a policy of turn in this or else, that's a confiscation in my eyes. But I digress. Why did the United States government confiscate gold? It comes back to the gold standard. President Roosevelt wanted to print more fiat currency, but couldn't because the United States gold reserves weren't large enough. Every fiat dollar printed had to be backed by 40 cents of gold. Gold at this time was valued at $20.67 per ounce. In order to print more money, our gold reserves would need to grow. So the confiscation occurred. But that wasn't all. After the deadline to turn in your gold for paper currency, the value of gold was increased from $20.67 per ounce to $35 per ounce by the Gold Reserve Act of 1934. United States citizens were completely screwed over.
They were screwed. Could it happen again? Could it happen again? Why are they going? Look, I didn't do the history, but I'm just thinking, when was the last time you can remember a president went to Fort Knox? Come on, man. Something's going on, people. Put in the comment section. Let me know if you've been thinking about this or you learned something. My name is Friendshot Pearson. Welcome to Friendshot Blue. You can go to my channel if you want to help the channel. Click on my portrait right there. And then go click on more. I have Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal. I also have a P.O. box. You want to mail a love offering. I also have a beautiful poetry book on Amazon Books titled Protect the Gift. We're going to figure this out together. I need you guys' help because I gotta read some history books that I have in relation to what they did back in the gold. Because people, I believe they're up to something. They're not telling us the full story of why they're going to Fort Knox. God bless you.